Hey, it's B again with your Wednesday dose of Literate Fools. Today, you're all being treated to my review of Stray by Rachel Vincent. It's not a timeless classic. It's a book that hopefully no one's ever heard of. It's a book I had never heard of, and it turns out there's a reason for that. A friend stumbled across it at a thrift store, and the back cover gave us pause. Okay, the name gave us pause because one of my friends happens to be known as Stray. So we went, well, we're curious, and we read the cover. I look like an all-American grad student, but I am a werecat, a shapeshifter, and I live in two worlds. That's how it starts. Anyway, the basic gist of the story is that this young 20-something with a slamming body is in danger because she's one of very few female werecats and blah 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 hierarchy of werecats, and everyone wants to bang her, but especially other werecats want to bang her. And her family's worried that she's gonna get killed or something. I can't even tell you whether or not she was in character for the whole book, because from what I can tell, she does not actually have a character. Her character was not very solidly written. I mean, half the time there she is being all, ooh, I'm a grad student in comparative literature or something. A language-based, English-based program that she's studying in grad school. And then the other half was all, I'm a fighter, I'm tough, I've got bloodlust and I want to kill people, and I don't care if I'm human or a cat, I just want to kick ass and take names. It was like, what the hell? She was not written well. She wasn't. Plus it was written in first person, which everyone knows. It's easy to write in first person. It's exceedingly difficult to write well in first person. Rachel Vincent does not write well in first person. I kind of felt like this was her fantasy. This novel was that thing that's so big right now, the modern, allegedly paranormal sci-fi fantasy novel about some kind of other vampire, whatever, etc. That's not about that at all. It's about sexuality and sensuality, and basically too much of the book was about how the main character is hot, how she thinks she's hot, how the other cats think she's hot. And there were a lot of contradictions to things that I felt were important in the story. And, well, the only reason I finished reading the book is I had to know if it was going to be as laughably bad as Twilight was, or if it was just going to be bad. There was a moment where it might have been able to redeem itself, but it quite clearly didn't. And it also did not hit the epic travesty that Twilight was. I love the Twilight saga. I'm gonna admit this to y'all right now. I do. I love it. Because it was bad. Reading Twilight was awful. It was painful. But I read the first 3 books in one sitting. Hardly slept, hardly anything. Because I had to finish. I had to see just how far down the rabbit hole goes. How bad it was going to get. And the 4th book wasn't out yet when I read the first 3. And when the 4th book came out, I sat down and read that, and I was nervous about the 4th book because the first 3 books were so over the top and so bad that I'd been going, well, it can't get any worse. And then she somehow managed to top it in the 4th book. So sometimes you have that hope that things will reach a point where they're so bad you can't help but read on. You can't help but laugh at them. Stray did not hit that, though. Not at all. Stray was evidence that if you talk to the right publisher and if you're writing in whatever's popular at the moment, you can get anything published. Anyone can get anything published, basically. At least that's my view. I've seen some really awful things that were published that should never have been published. I've seen authors desecrate stories that could have been brilliant. The basis was brilliant, and the story itself was just crap. Stray didn't have a good story, even. I will admit this, it didn't. But I still can't regret having read it. You have to read some of the bad things out there in the world of books to really appreciate the good ones. This is my belief. Other people can believe different things. Anyway, I wouldn't recommend reading this book. I wouldn't. But you can read it if you want to. I'm not going to stop you. In fact, I'm probably going to push a bunch of my friends to read it, just so that I can laugh at how horrified they are, how bad it is. I'm not always a very nice person. This is true. Anyway, have a good week, and I will see you next Wednesday.